Hi traders, welcome to our weekly top-down analysis. So the platform I'm using is the Deriv MT5 platform. So as always, we begin analyzing from the weekly time frame. So if we are to zoom out, we can see price is reacting from this supply zone. And then down here, we have our demand zone. Therefore, from the weekly time frame, the bias is very clear. We formed equal highs at the or a tweezer top at the double top at the supply level. Therefore, our bias is clear from the weekly time frame. We're going to be looking for selling opportunities from the supply zone until this demand zone. Moving over to the daily time frame. From the daily time frame, we have the general break of structure here. So we have a break of structure right there. And then we also have the internal break of structure. We have the internal break of structure, and then the order block which caused the internal break of structure. It is that order block right there. From the daily time frame, price is not yet hit our order block. So that's pretty much it from the daily time frame, and then we have a swing low here. Now heading over to the 4 hours time frame. If we are to adjust this break of structure, our order block will be there. Our order block will be there, and we can see price just stepped into our order block. As we can see, price swept the liquidity that was sitting here and then went to go and tap into our order block. Now we are getting a push to the downside. Therefore, only going to be looking for a selling opportunity until we get to this swing low. If we are to zoom in, we can see that this is the most recent break of structure. So we have a break of structure, and then the order block which caused the break of structure from the 4 hours time frame. It is that order block right there where price is currently reacting. Where price is currently reacting, and then heading over to our entry time frame, which is the 1 hour time frame. So from the 1 hour, this is the general break of structure. And then we also have this internal break of structure right there. So we have that internal break of structure. And then the order block which caused the break of structure, it's that order block right there where price stepped in from the tweezer top, which dished out, which dished out a full movement. Price tapped into this order block, formed the tweezer top, and then we got a push to the downside, which hit our TP at this swing low. Now we have this internal break of structure right there. We have that internal break of structure. We have that internal break of structure and our order block, which caused that break of structure. It is that order block right there. Which price tapped in from our entry time frame. You can see price just missed our entry. It's yet to go to that order block. And our liquidity is present. The liquidity which was sitting here, trend line liquidity which was sitting with that price, just swept and is about to go and tap into that order block right there. Now, if you want to enter this trade with me, these are the coordinates of the sell limit. Go ahead and place a sell limit on volatility 101S with your entry price at the order block at 1392.57 with your stop loss at 1433.26 and your first take profits at the first swing low at 1321.7, and then our second take profit is going to be at 1179.92. And always apply proper risk management. Therefore, this is what we're expecting for price to sweep the liquidity, and then we'll tap into that order block, and then we can get a push. We can get a push to the downside. That's pretty much it on volatility 101S. Heading over to volatility 100. So from the weekly time frame, we have our demand zone right here where price has been pushing, and then up there we have a supply zone. We have a supply level right there. So from the weekly time frame, our bias is going to be bullish because I can see we formed a tweezer bottom at this demand zone, and we are getting a push to the upside. My bias is bullish until I see reasons to sell. So from the daily time frame, we have this break of structure. So we have a break of structure right there. And then the order block, which caused the break of structure, it is this order block where price just stepped in and we are getting a push to the upside. And we are getting a push. We are getting a push to the upside, heading over to the 4 hours time frame. So from the 4 hours time frame, if we are to adjust the break of structure, it's going to be at that level. Our order block, 4-hour order block. That is our 4-hour order block where price stepped in. We got a push to the upside and then came back in at the order block, and we got a tweezer bottom and it's pushing up, and it has not yet broken a new high. Therefore, that is our swing high. Therefore, the buy is still valid. because a new high was not yet broken. Price is yet to break that high. And then heading over to our 1 hour time frame. So from the 1 hour, let's study the internal structures. So we have a break of structure right there. We have a break of structure, and then price stepped into this order block, which caused the break of structure, and then we got a tweezer bottom and we are pushing to the upside. And then we also have this break of structure. Also have a break of structure right there. And then the order block, which caused the break of structure, it is that order block right there where price has just tapped in, price broke structure, it came back, we formed a bullish engulfing where this indecision candle was engulfed, therefore we have a bullish engulfing. So for the volatility 100, it's going to be an instant execution. So enter the trade, instant execution, volatility 100 at the current market price. Stop loss is going to be slightly below the order block at 709.05, and then your take profit, your first take profit can be here at the first swing high at 753.75, and then your swing take profit is going to be at 791.05, and always apply proper risk management. So it's going to be an instant execution for volatility 100. And then heading over to step index. If we are to minimize, you can see the trend is a downtrend as we are forming lower lows and lower highs. Now from the weekly time frame, we can see our supply zone is there, but that supply zone price is still far from there. And then down here, we are forming a demand zone, though our overall bias is bearish. And then we have a break of structure right there. We have a break of structure, and then the order block, which caused the break of structure. It is this order block where price just stepped in, we formed a wizard top, and we are getting a move to the downside. Then from the weekly time frame, our bias is bearish, and we'll be looking for selling opportunities until this demand zone. Going over to the daily time frame, adjusting to the daily time frame order block, we are going to have our break of structure at that level. And then this setup, I've been waiting for it for weeks. We can see price just with the liquidity that was sitting here where we're forming equal highs and then swept the liquidity, went to go and tap in for the first time from the tweezer top. We got a move to the downside, but the move was not completed. Price went back in again, formed a bearish engulfing, and we are getting a push to the downside. Now, from the daily time frame, we have a break of structure right there. So that was the last break of structure before price stepped into that supply zone. And then we have a change of character right there to indicate this uptrend is over and the sellers are stepping into the market. So we have a change of character. And then the other block which caused the change of character, it is that order block right there. This is the order block which caused the change of character. And then heading over to the 4 hours time frame. So from the 4 hours, the last break of structure, adjusting it to the 4 hours time frame, it's going to be at that level. Break of structure, and then the change of character happened at this level where the sellers broke this higher low. They violated structure by breaking this higher low. This is a change of character right there. Now the other block which caused the change of character from the 4 hours time frame, it's going to be that order block right there. And then I can see we have liquidity that is sitting here where price is creating liquidity here by forming equal highs. Therefore, I'm anticipating for price to sweep the liquidity, tap into my order block, and then can get a move to the downside since the overall trend is a bearish trend. Heading over to our entry time frame, which is the 1 hour time frame. So from the 1 hour time frame, adjusting the break of structure to the 1 hour time frame, it's going to be at that level. Right there. And then this change of character is going to be at that level. So we have a change of character at that level, and then the other block which caused this change of character, it's going to be at that level. So this one is going to be a trade we're going to wait for a very long time, since price is far from that area of interest, which is our order block. And I'm not even going to give the limits for the coordinates for the sell limit, since price is still quite far. But yes, this is what we can expect on step index. Since everything is aligning, we have a break of structure, a change of character, order block, which caused a change of character. We have liquidity that is sitting there that price needs to sweep to go and step into that order block, and then we can expect a move to the downside. And our take profit levels will be those ones. Right, traders, if you are enjoying the analysis, please subscribe to the channel, turn on the post notification, and get notified every time I drop a video. Now, moving on to our last index, which is the jump index. This one, I'm just back testing it. I just added it to my pair of indices I'm observing because I liked the movements on jump index. Therefore, this one is an index I'm still back testing. So let's go ahead and break down jump 10 index. So from the weekly time frame, we can see that is a supply zone right there. The supply zone, and then down here we have a demand zone. Therefore, this one is in a range, but it's a good range. So we can see this is quite a strong supply zone. We are here, therefore our bias is going to be to look for selling opportunities until this demand zone. Therefore, pretty much for the whole of this year, I'm going to be selling jump 10 index until I see buyers are ready to break through this supply zone. Otherwise, it's going to be the buyers going to be bearish. Now let's go ahead and break down the chart from the daily time frame. We can see that we have a break of structure right there. Though it's not very clear, but there is a break of structure. We'll see it once you get to the 4 hours time frame. So for these charts, you just have to open your eyes because the entry might be hiding where you are not looking. We have a break of structure there. And then we have a change of character here to indicate this bullish move is over because the sellers came in and violated structure by breaking this higher low. So we have a change of character, and then the order block, which caused the change of character from the daily time frame. It is start order block where price stepped in, and we are getting a push to the downside. We are getting a push to the downside, and then we have this break of structure. We have a break of structure right there. However, from the daily time frame, the order block is not clear. Let's go over to the 4 hours time frame where we can get a clear picture. So price stepped into that order block, and we are getting a push to the downside. Now we have a break of structure right there. And the order block which caused the break of structure, it is that order block where price stepped in and we got a nice move to the downside. Now this is a general break of structure. Our most recent break of structure. Our most recent break of structure, it is that break of structure right there. And then the other block which caused that break of structure, it is that other block from the 4 hours time frame. It is that other block right there from the 4 hours time frame, and I can see we have liquidity that is building up here since we are forming equal highs right there. So I see liquidity that is sitting there that price has to sweep to go and tap into our order block. So for jump 10, since I'm backtesting it, I've backtested it. So for jump 10, I'll be stopping the analysis at 4 hours because I realized 4 hours, the levels are so clear and the entries are straightforward. Therefore, for jump 10, my analysis will only stop at 4 hours because from my backtesting results, I saw that the levels and the entries are much clearer from the 4 hours, and I'll be mostly taking swing trades on jump 10 index. Therefore, now I'm waiting for price to sweep the liquidity that is sitting here to go and tap into that order block, and then I can expect a move to the downsides because the overall trend is bearish, and my take profits, the first one is going to be at that level, second one at that level, and then third one at that level. Now the coordinates for the sell limit on jump 10 index, go ahead and place a sell limit if you want to take this trade with me, with your entry price at the order block, stop loss slightly above the order block, and then now the coordinates, your entry price, go ahead and place a sell limit on jump 10 index with your entry price at 9900 stop loss at 9965 2.60 with your take profits, your first take profit at this first swing low at 9757 2.57, second take profit at 9629 2.36, and your third take profit at 9554.21, and always apply proper risk management. All right, traders, that's it for this analysis. If you did find the analysis helpful, please subscribe to the channel, turn on the post notifications. And then that's it for this episode, and have a profitable trading week. See you next week. Happy trading.